near side, the Basin, New York native, who's playing in his second game of this series after having 8 over the regular season in a Chiefs uniform. Romanchuk guarding Longboat, who scores short-handed. He used Romanchuk as a shield, and he was able to go low left side on Orelman, and even down a man, Scott. 2:05 into game 4. The Chiefs have an early lead.
And the Chiefs just looking to kill off that penalty, but Longboat seeing an opening from that top, and a nice sidearm shot that gets through. And look at all the movement. Even when the Chiefs are shorthanded, they're still plugging up the lane. Guys are running through, tripping up the Cobourg defense, and then you'll see Longboat at the very top. Couple guys in front, 3 black jerseys in front of Orleman. He had no chance.
14 goals over the regular season for the former Cobourg Kodiaks. Chiefs had 6 goals so far in this series. Now it's Orleman stretching the play up to Curtis Connolly on a break, and he scores! Put it up on the board. The Kodiaks score. It's Curtis Connolly getting involved in the action, and it's a beautiful assist from the goaltender.
Nice look up floor. Conley took off as soon as possession changed. He was gone down floor. We've seen Conley in and out of this lineup this year. He helps coach the Peterborough Junior A Lakers. They were on a playoff run of their own, so there's a few games that he missed, and back in the lineup, showing his value. Nobody anywhere near him, and as a goaltender, you're wondering, is there going to be a couple fakes thrown?
This one. Huge shrugging save off the left elbow that time of Orleman, but the loose change is collected by the Chiefs, and back on the power play they go. Stotts. That's Randy to Austin, back to Randy. Tiptoeing around, and he scores. The guy that had the overtime winner in game 3 has made it a 2-1 game here in game 4.
You can't give Randy Stotts too much room. It's tough when you're down a man, but all this talent out on the Chiefs squad, you got to try to play them man-to-man a little bit. That way, though, you do risk getting beat one-on-one as well, so it's kind of a double-edged sword when you're defending these guys, but you can see Jamison plugging the lane in front. He causes some traffic down the middle, and then that leaves a hole for Stotts to just come through, and he's got one of the more accurate shots in this league, and he finds the top corner. And you can see how Orleman saw it right here on this last angle, right into that top shelf.
It's Randy Stotts' 4th goal of this series. Ryan Haig, 3 seconds left on possession. He's going to roll this one down, and he scores! Ryan Haig with a desperation shot as the possession was clocking down, goes low right side on Hill, and in the splits, it finds a hole through Warren Hill.
That was right as the 30-second buzzer was going off. From long distance, everyone's going to the bench. You can see the guys just hovering in front of the Kodiaks bench. Other guys are running towards it. This is just a shot looking for a reset from way out, almost where that blue line would be in hockey.
And you could say that Tim Edwards possibly created a screen there, partner, but that shot came from plenty of distance. Not a surprise for a guy that won a 2015 President's Cup championship and then followed it up the next year by winning a Mann Cup championship with these Chiefs. So Cobourg looking to get their first taste of the lead, and they get it right here. Brock Haley, 1 minute and 37 seconds into the second period, and the Kodiaks roar to their first lead of the game.
A nice outside shot, bit of traffic in front of Hill, but just that classic overhand release. And you can see Cobourg on the near side. They've got 3 guys. They're playing the 2-man game on that far side. And then it's Aaron Woods setting the pick, bringing 2 defenders with him, and Haley goes right over top of all 3 of those bodies. And you see Orleman happy with that one.
His 10th goal of the postseason for the Port Hope scene. Stotts found one and scores. My word, his 2nd goal of the game. A gentleman that has 5 now in the postseason.
When we talked about his accurate shot, it's a hard one as well, and you can hear the fans here. I was talking to Randy during the intermission, bit of a split crowd, and you hear the cheers as a lot of fans made their way from Tyendinaga just outside of Belleville, and they love Randy Stotts. So many of them were talking to him as he was leaving the floor, and as soon as that ball went in, a big ovation erupted as he pops his 2nd.
Fresh legs off of Brandon Francis's bench, including Brock Haley. Now to Thompson. Thompson looking for a seam. Thompson trying to go low, and he squeaks this one through and scores! Zach Thompson with his third goal of the postseason. Scott, that's 3 goals in 6 playoff games. He had 3 goals in 12 regular season games. Every one of these guys is matching, if not exceeding, what they did in the regular season.
A nice, healthy bounce on that one from Thompson. The initial one hits Hill, he gets a piece of it, and then the hop back goes off the back of Hill and bounces through. He turned, tried to recover. He knew that ball was behind him, but it had already crossed the line at that point. And again, it's Aaron Woods doing a great job in the middle, taking 2 defenders with him, creating that extra space.
Right off the draw, Six Nations looks to tie it up, and they do. Oh my word. Tim Edwards won the draw, went in, did it all by himself, and within a blink of an eye of the Cobourg's goal from Zach Thomas, they tied this game up. That's 6 seconds according to the officials.
That's as quick as you're going to see a goal, and once again, talking about the importance of face-offs, Tim Edwards, a perfect face-off win, and he just takes it all himself. A la Jake Withers of the Peterborough Lakers, who we see do that so often. We haven't seen Edwards pull that off in this series.
Right down Broad Street. My word, Scott. Taking over anyway. Numbers the other way. Led by Bell. Bell tries to go top shelf, and he scores. Ring the bell. Tyson Bell with his 2nd goal of this series, and as I mentioned before, he had 3 in the regular season. 2 came against Cobourg in Cobourg in the regular season.
We talked about it feeling like a home game of sorts for Six Nations. The big celly from Bell as he salutes the crowd right beside Orleman, who came in to take this game. Transition goal. We saw him earlier just wind up for that big shot, and then look at the celly into the glass, and then he points up into the crowd at all these fans who have come here to cheer on the Chiefs.
He's now got 2 goals against the Kodiaks, so that's combined 4 out of his 5 goals against Cobourg. As Hill looks behind him, and they score! I thought Hill got enough of it, but it just crossed the line. Haley with his 2nd goal of the period, and Cobourg has life here midway through the 2nd frame in a 5-5 contest.
And that didn't take much time at all, just 17 seconds into the man advantage. And it's another trickler. We saw this earlier on the last Cobourg goal. Hill gets a piece of it, and then it takes a hop. It could have bounced either way, and you'll see exactly how it bounced on this time around. You see with the extra players out there, and again, it's Woods plugging up the middle, creating that extra traffic in front of Hill, and at the last second, he has to guess where that ball is going. That's the 3rd goal in a row that Woods has plugged up the lane.
In his 3rd playoff game, the Albany Firewolf getting much-needed court time as Six Nations. Who else? The hat trick is his. He had a Game 3 overtime winner. Well, he's got 3 goals here in game number 4.
First 2 goals from Stotts were from the outside. This one, he gets a little in tight before he's able to get that shot off. And it's that great ball movement. Dane Smith circling around. He's got that big reach, one of the best shooters in all of lacrosse. Circling around, you think, is he going to shoot? And instead, all of a sudden, Stotts just sneaks into the frame, and he buries it.
If it's not Austin, it's Randy. Man, oh man, how do you stop this Brother Tan season game against the Peterborough Lakers and pulled out the victory, Scott? They then had 18 days off and have showed 0 rust as they continue to rumble. It's a touchdown on the board for the visiting Chiefs.
The Chiefs starting to find their groove right now, but still lots of time left for Cobourg to get back into this. And again, Six Nations finding themselves in tight. We saw in the opening period a couple goals from far out, and this time they're able to get through that Cobourg defense, and it's Thompson just sidestepping his way in, and then he does that twister shot right at the end. That was a shot that didn't have a name in lacrosse for the longest time, and then it became very popular, and someone came up with the name The Twister, and it's stuck for the last few years.
Rightfully named, isn't it? The legs of Hill, but unfortunately the ball stayed behind him as he followed through. And then back the other way, it's Austin Stotts. Man, oh man, a game of ebbs and flows. Grennan with an opportunity. Fans, Austin Stotts back the other way.
That's a huge goal with under 5 minutes left to go in this period. 3 unanswered goals for the Chiefs. And Austin Stotts using his brother as a bit of a screen. You see Randy in the middle there, plugging up the lane. He takes a big hit through the middle and then cuts to the other side. He's an option for a pass. Instead, they go over to Austin Stotts, his younger brother, who is streaking in. And he's a tough guy to stop when he is going full speed like that. Dane Smith, Brian Cole picking up the helpers on that one.
Stotts had 1 goal and 2 assists in game 3 of this series so far tonight. 1 goal and 1 assist.
The biggest goal we saw of Stotts was with 1:39 left in game number 2 when we were here. The score was tied 8-8, and Austin Stotts broke that tie with
stretch the floor up to Jeremy Phoenix. Phoenix paces into the Kodiaks zone. He's awaiting from fresher legs off the bench, including Woods. Here comes Thompson as well. It's Phoenix going in and scores! Jeremy Phoenix, what a goal! His second of the postseason, and the Quebec native has brought his team within 2.
That's a nice look from Phoenix. Bit of a tough angle, running out of real estate as he was approaching the side of the crease, but somehow Phoenix able to go far side and find that opening. And look, he goes from a standstill. He's just asserting the situation, making it Six Nations Chiefs defense guess that he's waiting for his offensive players to come on the floor. Just slowly going by, and then all of a sudden he goes to warp speed, fools everybody. Tyson Bell lays the hammer on him right at the end, but Phoenix able to put that in the far side, and here's how Hill was able to see it from behind the net as he just couldn't get a full piece of that one.
It looked like Hill, or I should say Bell, was too busy or preoccupied stapling Romanchuk that he forgot the seam now had become available. And you got to burn them when they give you the opportunity, and Jeremy Phoenix did just that. Jonah Beam trying to win this off the draw. It's still loose in front of the Chiefs bench. Battling for it is Tyler Biles, and falling down to the floor is Tim Edwards. It is the Kodiaks trying to take advantage. It is Ellerton being denied, or apologize, Rowan Kelly. The rebound's there for Jacobs. As I thought playing a second goalie that time was Brad Cree. Cree appears to be a little shaken up, but staying on the floor.
2 big saves on that play from Hill. What a recovery on the second save.
Haley to Gareth Hagg. Gareth Hagg avoiding Austin Stotts, gives us to Grennan. Grennan, the ball was pried loose by Edwards, and Edwards harassed him just enough that it ends up giving the visiting team possession back. 80 seconds left on the second period clock here in Game 4 of MSL action here on Your TV. Thanks for joining us on Your TV Northumberland, as the Chiefs having a dominating second period of play so far here on the road. Not necessarily a shocker when they had a 4-goal run in this building in the second period in Game 2. Lyle Thompson with the second helping. Orleman's going to want to have that one back. It beats him low to his left side.
Nice underhand shot from Thompson, and this one coming with just 1:02 left to go in the period. That's a tough one for the Kodiaks to give up after they had just scored moments ago, and you can see Thompson, Dominique trying to get it out on him, but the release is too quick. It's already out of Thompson's stick.
Well, Scott, I literally asked you moments ago, do they have to be carrying it from Cobourg zone into the Chiefs territory? Goes into the corner for Stone Jacobs, who fakes the shot but waits for support instead. Gareth Hagg, watched by Cole, feeds Brock Haley, you spoke to at the second intermission break. Haley forced into the corner by Priolo, gives it to Jacobs. Jacobs with some room, and they're going to say Hill got a piece of it, but it is collected by his defense, and it's the Chiefs coming back into the home team's territory. Cole leaving it there for Larson Sundown, playing in his second game of the postseason. Cody Jamieson goes low, and he scores. There's 10 on the board for Jamieson. Some tomfoolery started by Cole after this play, and man, oh man, things might start to get spicy here at the Jack Berger Sports Complex. Randy Stott taking a bit of a cheap shot at Marinier. You see Jamieson actually trying to underhook Jonah Beam. Now he's going after the goaltender, and now things should start to boil over. You can't do that, Scotty.
Everyone grabbing a dance partner right now as Randy Stott's trying to go after Marinier. The Stotts brothers, they don't back down from anyone, but that's a guy that I would probably shy away from. Renier is a beast.
A lot of toughness being shown by guys not willing to take off their helmets or gloves, though, partner. Some rabbit punches thrown. Randy Stotts with an underhook boxing attempt on Jonah Beam. And then again, they went after the goalie and Orelman, who's just staying in his crease.
Here's how it all developed. So it started off with
Cole,
Stotts in the middle, who is going at Marinier, and then we'll see the goal, though, beforehand. Jamieson getting in on the action, and then Phoenix takes a shot at Jamieson. That's how it started. Jamieson takes a shot at him, thinks it's a dive. You can see him shrugging, and then everyone comes in, and then Marinier gets his helmet ripped off.
By Randy Stotts.
And then Stotts is trying to go after him. Jamieson has a hold of Beam in the middle, and then Orleman just standing right there.
Jug Jamieson with 3 punching attempts on Jonah Beam.
Orleman must have said something there because Jamieson all of a sudden just turned and gave him a shot.
Good on Beam, who took 3 licks there and decides, hey, you still can't go after my goaltender.
We'll see how they sort this out. Cobourg doing a good job all around at staying disciplined in that part. Six Nations trying to draw some penalties, and you see Jamieson takes that shot late from Phoenix, gives him a bump, and then you can see him kind of shrug, thinking maybe that's a dive, and then everyone comes in at this point, and anyone trying to grab whoever's in front, and the main event could have been Stotts and Marinier, but Marinier doing a great job at staying disciplined and not getting sucked into any of that. And Marinier tries to get involved with Jamieson and Cole, just trying to pull them off, and that's what brought Stotts right back into the frame. And then you see Orleman take that shot. His mouth is moving, so he did say something to Jamieson.
Well, I mean, I'm sure words were definitely exchanged at this point of the water boiling out of the tea kettle. What gets lost in all of this, though, is Cody Jamieson does get his 4th goal of the postseason. They haven't put up the 10 on the board just yet. You assume it's going to go on there, though, because that was a good goal.
100%. It's going to go up there. They just want to get the penalties sorted. Referees are a little distracted right now talking to the captains. Ecclestone, the only referee who's over at the timekeeper's box, and I don't know how he's going to remember all of this because I'm sure there's going to be a few penalties both sides. You see 2 Chiefs in the box at this point, but no one from the Cobourg Kodiak side. So it's just Stotts for sure in that box, Jamieson as well, and then there you do see Marinier. So it should be a power play for Cobourg if this is how it stays, with Stotts and Jamieson in the box and Marinier on the other side, and they will signal that it is 5-on-4 lacrosse.
And it's been a fantastic series, so you would hope that with 16:35 remaining here in the 3rd period of play that the silly stuff will go away, but you just don't know, that's for sure, especially there's always games within the games, right, Scotty?
Another Cobourg Kodiak going towards the box, so I don't know if Marinier got a double, because it's Ryan Haig. He wasn't out there at the time, so
they have 2 minutes on the board for Cobourg, and a 5-minute major is shot on the board for the Chiefs.
So I think a couple penalties wiped out, and Ryan Haig, I think, is serving an extra for Marinier, but we are going to see 4-on-4 lacrosse, and then a power play in 3 minutes, or in 2 minutes rather, off that 5-minute major in the tail end.
Chiefs technically 14-0 right now in 2024 with 5 straight victories over the Cobourg Kodiaks. If you go back to the time that the Kodiaks beat them last in the postseason, it's 7 straight victories coming in tonight against the boys in black. I got to ask you a question. Would that count if Sundown was still laying in the crease?
If Six Nations had scored, if he was pushed into the crease, then it's a clean goal. If he went in on his own, then no goal.
So, out of the box and back to the power play go the Kodiaks here. A crucial one at that. Down by 4 in an elimination game here at home in Port Hope, Ontario. Haley to Anderson. Anderson scores! Now it is a major penalty. So, the Cobourg Kodiaks, with 14 minutes left in the game, still have a man advantage here, down by 3.
What a goal from Anderson at a big moment. Exactly 14 minutes left to go. Brings them within 3. And you can see Cobourg using that extra space on the power play. And we talked about those bounce shots on this cement as a goaltender. They are so hard to read. And Anderson, he goes down low with the bouncer. Looked like Hill might have got a piece of it, but it finds its way into the back of the net. And with a 5-minute major, you can score 2 goals before it is wiped out completely. So Cobourg with another chance, and still 2:25 left to score that power play goal.
The literal Kodiak bear is strong, fierce, ferocious, and it never backs down. And man, oh man, this team in 2024 is literally embodying the logo that's on their crest, Scott.
This has been their best season by far in terms of not only success in the standings and in the playoffs, but just also on the floor as well. Every player, a huge stop.
1:12 remains on the Randy Stotts penalty. Down by 3 here in game 4. Woods, they thought they had scored, or at least Haley did. Now it's Gareth Haig. He'll capitalize. 2 goals on the major penalty to Randy Stotts. It brings Cobourg within 2 here in the 3rd frame.
That'll wipe the penalty, but Stotts still has to serve his full 5 minutes. So he's still going to be in the box for a little bit longer, which is a huge offensive threat taken away as Haig picks up his 2nd goal. A bomb. That came off a rebound, so you can see Hill was still trying to recover to get back in his net. He makes the big save, and then he's a little slow to get up. Realizes that Haig has the ball on the far side. By the time he's recovered, he slides over, and it's too late.
And you have Priolo and Rubish both trying to dive to block that, but they can't bail out their goaltender that left the left side of the net barren. So a bit of an H2O break, and rightfully so for these 2 goaltenders. It's been one heck of a game on your Sunday night, and we really wouldn't expect anything else. You mentioned it, Scott, even game 1, yeah, it's a 13-7 final, but the devil in the details, it was a close game throughout the first 40.
Yeah, we'll see this last Orleman save where Stotts was right on the doorstep, and Orleman coming up big. Wow. This is when you need your goaltender to make big saves, and when it's on a big name player like Austin Stotts, putting the shoulder up, Cobourg goes down and scores on the next possession, and Randy Stotts still in the box for 1 more minute.
Jonah Beam off the draw.
Even though it's not a power play, as we mentioned. Power play is wiped, but Stotts has to serve the full 5.
Beam took a hit to keep the play alive in Cobourg's favor in the Six Nations zone. Thompson backtracks to the wall. There's some personnel change happening, specifically with Marinier and Woods off the bench. Woods into the play. Grennan lost the ball, though, and now the Chiefs have life back the other way with a 2-goal lead. Dane Smith into the zone. Dane Smith looks to rip this one. Ends up hitting traffic, kept in from going over and back from Longboat, who gives it to Lyle Thompson. Lyle Thompson shoots and scores. A hat trick for Lyle Thompson, and it recants the 3-goal lead for the Chiefs here in the 3rd period.
One of the best underhand shooters in lacrosse, and a big smile from all the Chiefs as they go back. But watch how perfectly he unloads this. Underhand shots, they look like they'd be as easy as an overhand shot. They're not. Your trajectory is a lot different. You have to keep the ball in a weird position as you're moving your stick around, and guys who have their sticks in their hands at all times and who practice this shot, those are the guys who are successful at it, and Thompson is one of the best.
Guys, Sharp catches the pop fly, and then Brandon Bomberry runs into the goaltender. Again, we've already seen Six Nations get into the grill of the Kitchener netminer, as Grennan just couldn't handle the bouncing Marinier pass. McLaughlin grabs it, high pass, ends up tipping off of Bomberry and going into the mesh. So Cobourg does get the ball back. 6:45 left on the hourglass, half a minute left to kill off the penalty. As we saw, after they killed off that 5-minute major earlier in the game, they were able to score briefly after that with momentum boosted into their side. Anderson, who had 13 goals and 13 assists in the regular season, scores! Mr. Anderson with his 2nd goal of the night. This is a gentleman that now has 14 for the Kodiaks in the postseason.
3 points tonight for Anderson, and you could see how fast the Kodiaks were getting off the floor. As soon as they gained possession, the defense flew off that floor to get the offense on, and then just moments later, as everybody is set up, Anderson finds a small opening and buries it down low. And you can see a better look at it here. 2 white jerseys on him, everyone else to the far side of the floor. A short-handed marker for Anderson. Rather than killing the clock, Cobourg knows they need to get shots on
the floor to himself, and does as Bell wisely looks around at the situation and puts on the brakes.
And we'll see a bit of clock management from Six Nations, but they also know 2 goals might not be enough to win, so they'll be looking to drive the lane if they can.
Dane Smith out front, and they score. Smith to Bomberry. Bomberry squeezed between the defenders. Is that the nail in the coffin? Only time will tell with 3:02 left in the hourglass.
And that's the lane we were talking about. You knew the Chiefs, as soon as they saw something opening up, they were going to go right down the middle, and Bomberry doing a great job as the Chiefs working around the outside, killing a bit of that clock, but then Bomberry just sees a big open hole down the middle. He goes full speed, gets that pass, and a nice finish. Orleman gets a piece of it, but not enough.
3:01 away are the Chiefs from improving to 15-0 in 2024 with 6 straight victories over Cobourg. And if you include the Sunday night by a score of 12-9, the streak continues as the Chiefs continue to dominate over Ontario-based teams over 364 days, 21 wins in a row, and a potential lineup, if you will, Scott Arnold, of an undefeated Mann Cup championship. Yes, there's still a lot of lacrosse left to be played, but you have the Six Nations Chiefs entering the MSL finals undefeated. You have the victorious Shamrocks in the WLA 18-0 after their regular season, starting their postseason soon.
Yeah, they've still got 3 rounds to go through. In the victorious side, the Chiefs will either have to play Brooklyn or Peterborough, but for the 4th time in 4 seasons, the Six Nations Chiefs off to the MSL final. This is their 9th visit to the MSL final in the last 10 seasons, so their dominance has been going on for a decade.
And again, this was a team that started off in 1993, Scott, and I was actually really shocked to learn this. They were 1-14-1 and last place in the MSL in 1993 before they would three-peat as Mann Cup champions in 94, 95, and 96. Now, in the regular season, this is how we conclude every game. But in the postseason, I guess with a little bad blood brewing, they wait for the final contest as the best line in all of sports finally forms. A lot of respect being shown between these two teams, and that's always a tough one for the Kodiaks, or the team on the losing side.
Steve Orleman finishing with 40 saves, Warren Hill 32 on the other side of things, and then leading the way offensively, Lyle Thompson, 3 goals and 2 assists. Randy Stotts right behind him, 3 goals and an assist, and then Aaron Woods, he ended up with 4 helpers for the Kodiaks. Brock Haley leading the way on the Cobourg side with 2 goals and 3 assists as the best season in Cobourg Kodiaks history comes to a conclusion.
Lyle Thompson, as you mentioned, with a hat trick and 5 points. Randy Stotts with a hat trick here in Game 4 after he scored the overtime winner in Game number 3. But lots to be proud of for Kodiak fans here in 2024. Again, a team that only won 5 games over their first 3 seasons of existence in Ontario's Nicetown. As it appears we are heading off to a commercial break here on your TV. It is a 12-9 final for the Six Nations Chiefs on your Sunday night, and they advance to the MSL final to potentially play between Brooklyn or Peterborough in the final round.